Beneath the city, the beast stirs, tormented by hunger. That fearsome appetite, once kindled, will not be extinguished.
Welcome back to the European LCS, where Vitality is one game up over ROCCAT in this best of two. And before we get back on the Rift, you just saw the teaser there. A reminder that tickets for the summer finals in Krakow, Poland are now on sale. For information on how to join us as we send the first European team to Worlds 2016, load up on lolesports.com. Is one of these two teams going to be that first team we send to Worlds 2016?
No.
Ooh, tongue twister. Yeah, no.
That was an easy question.
Yeah.
I'm going to say no to Vitality. Even though Vitality are doing better, I don't think they're exactly going to walk into playoffs and like stomp everyone and get the first seed. And ROCCAT right now look like the clear-cut promotion team.
We are waiting to get into picks and bans. One note though, Cannon is now disabled for the rest of the week after game one, so we won't be having that one. We're going to jump straight into picks and bans. Sheepy, if you were ROCCAT, what lane would you prioritize for?
This is actually hard to call because, again, their bot lane was winning last time. They had a strong jungle. They could have done so much with the team comp, but there's just something missing in this team. And
for ROCCAT, you mean?
Yeah, for ROCCAT. I'm not really sure because I don't have the insight. So you know, that would be
no. But I mean, that's also a thing if you don't clearly see one lane that you'd want to draft for. However, we see the bans coming out: Caitlyn and Malzahar for the side of Vitality, and Olaf and Nidalee so far from ROCCAT.
Yeah, basically the same.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think is going to happen this pigman?
Well, that's what we're asking you.
I mean,
Why
technically, you're here.
I'm throwing it over.
You're here to shine, like as we told you
Apparently,
before.
Visho is the god almighty of picks and bans. I mean, how could you outshine
I'm learning
him?
here.
Yeah.
I'm here to learn.
There's actually one thing, the current meta, first picks right now, like go like a few months back, first picks were like almost set in stone. Like, okay, when this pick is open and like this pick is banned, this will be the first
Was
pick.
there a specific pick?
Like, my point is right now, there's so many viable first picks, I feel. Like, you can first pick an AD carry like Ashe if you want to. You can first pick the things like Karma, like we saw in the last game, if you want to build like strong laning phase. Jungle first picks we see quite often as well. Like here, you could first pick Elise.
After these bans,
yeah,
what would you first pick?
I would actually first pick Elise.
I
was asking Sheepy.
Oh, sorry. I thought it's all me, man.
I think Elise. Okay.
Right.
No.
See, now AD carry first picks. Like, this matter, man. We have some weird first picks.
Okay. I'm not too sure about the Jhin pick. Because you show kind of already an immobile ADC. Of course, Jhin is like really strong and works in a lot, but there's like picks like Ashe and Bard and Gragas, and all of those have like relatively long range to stop his ultimate. So I think let's see if ROCCAT drafts with this.
Yeah. To the Visho's point, for you as a coach, how much harder or more interesting does that make a pick and ban phase? The fact that there's no sure first picks.
That's actually really interesting because it also leaves more up to the player what they want to play. So if you come up with a pick that is notoriously strong in a matchup, you can actually make it work. So you kind of can ban out specific champions, leave others open that are most likely to be picked. For example, the Karma, for example, the Braum in our Giants match. And then pick something into it, for example, a Taric, and that works out fine.
Yeah.
I also think balancing-wise, a lot of picks right now, while they are considered S tier, are actually not that far above every other pick. So like even like a Nidalee, you can give a Nidalee, but then take an Elise instead, and it's not a terrible trade-off compared to like the previously non-nerfed Nidalee, where it's just like game is over if you give this champion, right?
And that's why I think right now pick and ban is extremely interesting to see, because you can kind of really draft out the team comp that works and can like go more into champions that are usually weaker, but together they just fit so well.
However, would you advise ROCCAT to go for champions that are usually weaker? Like, would you not try and just draft whatever is the strongest in every lane or matchup?
Generally, you try to combine both and then have a really good identity for the team. However, ROCCAT's draft kind of reminds me already like their last draft. Like, for example, if they go for Lucian or an Ashe right now, for example, an Ashe right now, that would be fitting pretty well. The Elise can be aggressive in the jungle. She can look for some picks. The Morgana, again, with an immobile ADC, so I think this is a pick that they like.
I really don't like the Lucian here. I mean, where does Lucian fit into this composition? Because Yeah,
You
right
say
now,
that to double lift.
sure, it's I mean, as a champion, I think it's not that bad, but you kind of have to compensate for his big weaknesses, which is one, he has a very short range. It's very difficult for him to get involved in fights, and two, depending on how you choose to itemize him, he has very distinct spikes in the game. So if you go for like the Black Cleaver Ghost Blade, he has a very clear mid-game spike that you need to take advantage of. And if you don't, then he starts to fall off towards later. Or you go for something more like the Essence Reaver build, where you have more of a scaling into the Phantom Dancer, where you have more of an impact in the late game. But the problem he's going to have is, yes, he can hide behind the Vladimir, but how are you actually going to start any of these fights off? Because you have the Elise, yeah, sure, Flash, Cocoon. Braum is typically more for disengage. So if ROCCAT want to set up for an objective, which so far we have seen they've been very bad at doing, they have no real options available to them right now.
I just think that for the lane it fits really well. They have the Braum, who can block a lot of the damage from Jhin, especially if somehow the Lucian gets caught out, but most likely this Lucian will not get caught out because he has the E to dodge. So I think they just have a really strong lane there. The Vladimir blind pick, I think, is fine, but Ryze is usually counter pick into it.
And saving the last pick for Parang to
Probably
counterpick there.
Trundle.
Yeah,
Probably
Trundle's
Trundle
good into it already.
to try and beat the top lane. Whenever
What
I
about
see-
Shen?
Shen was actually available, but I think in ROCCAT's mind, there's something I see quite a lot, is when you have 1-3-1 compositions, and you have the last pick against the 1-3-1, you try and shut down at least one of the lanes. Like, you try and have like something that wins one of the side lanes, so the enemy team will always have a losing side lane, and then they can only play around the Ryze lane in this case. If Ryze goes to side lane and Vladimir goes to side lane with him, Ryze can win that.
Yeah.
And that's like the winning lane now for Vitality, and then you know they're playing on that side of the map.
Okay, I disagree with that though.
That's fine.
Because I feel that Vladimir as a champion you should run Flash Ghost on.
But that's what I mean. That's why I think Ryze beats the Vladimir when it comes to playing side lane in 1-3-1, and why in this case here ROCCAT is building the ROCCAT. They have the Trundle to stop their Aurelia from pushing on top side, which means right now Vitality's winning side lane is the Ryze. Because Vladimir is running Ghost Flash, should run Ghost Flash.
Yeah, but I think here ROCCAT should just pick Shen, hold against the Aurelia winning matchup, or like equal to winning matchup, and go for the 1-4. Shen can easily dive with Vladimir. This combo is really strong.
Well, we'll see what happens with picks and bans completed for game 2 here between ROCCAT and Vitality. Let's get onto the Rift with our casters.
Thank you guys, and that was so chill, just sitting here and just getting to enjoy
So
it.
I can get used to this. When this pick and ban's going on, I just turn around. I get all my points from Deficio. I wait until these guys forget them, and then I just repeat them, and I just sound so smart.
Yeah, it's perfect. It's just the perfect way to cast. And you're also eating a sandwich as well. It was just
You
living
get
the
this
dream.
Leisure
Also-
time. I think production, we need more picks and bans by coaches. I got the time to just munch down a nice salami sandwich, you know, replenish my energy after that long, intensive pause. Where we had to
indeed.
sit down in a chair and talk. Apparently that's intensive here.
Well, let's get into game here. Crepo, Vitality, and ROCCAT for game 2. We'll see if ROCCAT do receive the salami in this game against Vitality.
That's one way of putting it. Talking about matchups, though, Trundle, for me, beats Aurelia. There is some people disagree slightly on a certain few level spikes. Aurelia kind of wins by abilities, longer 80 trades. Obviously, Trundle will pull out ahead, so we may see Vitality want to dodge that matchup, at least in the first few levels, because I've only played it a couple times, and I'm also a really bad Aurelia player, but I've died level 1 to Trundles. Just like, he's never going to... Oh, yeah, sorry, team.
Trump does a lot of damage. Auto attack reset is really strong. And Betsy as well, running this Vladimir this time.
The one thing that kind of speaks against it for me is the fact that Kasing is running Ignite, and like, you know, they're playing with a range advantage on the support. So usually that means they want a 2v2. So maybe there wasn't enough discussion pre-champs like, because then I think Exhaust Morgana is much better if you're going to lane swap.
Because they are looking for that right now, sending Police and Kasing to the top lane. You can see the Keystone Masteries there. Nothing really out of the ordinary that I'm seeing. Police going for a Death by a Touch there. Sometimes we see Gens go for the Lords instead.
Wind Speaker's Morgue is a little weird. Like,
Oh, yeah.
your shield is supposed to, like, that you put on one target. That's going to proc the Wind Seekers as opposed to getting any semblance of lane dominance. That then speaks into the fact that you were going into a lane swap. Usually you see Timberlords, even like Strength of Ages. Bit peculiar.
See how it does in this game. And Cabashard going back into this bottom lane now.
Ooh, Cabo. Oh, he knows it's a lane swap
Okay,
now.
yeah.
So if Trundle revealed later than Cabashard did, then Cabashard would have actually walked into his death, or at least been forced to flash because. And this is actually subtly in the matchup too. If Vladimir knows he gets to the wave early, he can stack up that Q a couple times, then get the bonus Q, and then actually go for lane dominance. If you can challenge Vladimir from getting the early kill on creeps, and you can actually do a lot more in the matchup. It's actually very dependent on if he gets access to the creeps early. Kasing, cheeky steal. I like it.
Yep, 20 gold, a bit of experience as well over to him. Just delaying this duo. They're actually going to go for the Raptors as well. Now Parang will TP.
Yeah, because they saw pool and Tormented Soil being used, like it's just not very threatening. You know, a bind is more annoying.
Cap shot as well. There you go. You can see both top lanes moving. And that extra second on the teleport is really significant. Always suspect...
it's a lane swap buff.
Yeah,
everybody's talking about these TP nerfs, but you just keep that minion alive.
One more tower shot.
One more tower.
All of that efficiency.
Fraction of a tower shot.
Fraction of a tower shot. Steal back. No cheese this time, but always going so low. One day.
This is the AD carry limbo, you know, in lane swap.
How low can you go?
How low can you go? We saw Raze last week win the support limbo by getting executed by the tower.
Did he really win that?
Got the participation prize.
I guess so. There you go. A for effort. Back to this mid lane here. Rise up against Vlad, seeing Vlad come back into it. Generally seeing a bit of fall off on the Vladimir, and also just doesn't win every single game he's in now as well after those subsequent nerfs.
Yeah, the champion now actually requires some skill. That's why he's falling off the pick priority. But he's still an absolute menace in the mid to late game. That's why ROCCAT trying to get him there. The early game Band-Aid is Delusion with the noticeable power spikes with the Ghostblade build. And they want to get the Trundle ahead in the side lane. Standard lanes would help for that. Now Trundle is behind, so Vladimir will become the main split pusher. But with teleport, you know, he can't really chase people down. Now he's being chased down himself. That's the flash.
Sanguine Pool. Memento is here though to save him. He was playing towards the bottom side of the lane, so we'll keep the flash for now.
Great.
And Nuke out of mana.
Yeah, but no ghost on his Vladimir, just punishes him hard, especially in fights. Vladimir is very mobility dependent. If he gets kited or just disengaged, and then maybe he doesn't get the clear Rylai's proc either, if one of his Qs get like Black Shielded, for example, it can mean a lot in terms of chase potential.
For sure. Another lane swap in this game. See if Memento actually does anything in the early game, because he did get a good gank off last time in the previous game, but it was just fragmented, and that seems to be the story for ROCCAT, really.
Gotta track his pathing right now, see if he drops any camps here. I haven't been paying too much attention to it. It's very hard to spot, but it's something cool to look into. Sadly, we don't get standard lanes, because in the Elise Gragas matchup, you can actually cheese it quite a bit. I mean cheese, just you adapt your camp taking. You don't go for the standard 3 camp. You just do 2 buffs and a single camp, and then you go invade the enemy, and Gragas goes very low in his jungle, and you can contest him there and kind of shut him down. Those are some of the cooler subtleties you can do in jungle matchups. And now we see actually Shook grouping here in the second part of the lane, so that's quite peculiar. So Vitality looking to speed up that second turret. Are they going for the tier 2? Or are they going for a bounce anyways and just get Cabashard access quicker to the farm? So Shook is taking a hit here, while Memento is getting more personal gain. But obviously the tower will fall sooner.
Memento was thinking about a gank in the mid lane. Betsy had pushed him real far back into his inner tower. It gives him the opportunity to go for Merc Wolves.
Yeah, so what Vitality do here is to do a quick group into Baron. That's fine. Dragon, good call. Apparently I can't speak. What they could have done is actually went for the push though, because both teleports are on cooldown, and it would have actually meant that Betsy would have to teleport to the tier 2 in the bottom lane. Vitality could have technically pushed that onwards. Those are the things that I like, you know, talking to like coaches about. It's like, what if you do X and Y here? You know, why maybe not? And get some more insight in. But they take the safe choice. Bounce, get Cabashard ahead quicker, and go for an additional dragon.
Early Mountain Dragon as well. Next one's going to be Infernal, so pretty good on the dragons today. Not too many of those Cloud Dragons. We'll get nerfed. We'll get buffed actually on the next
And that's when I really want a Cloud Drake. It's a sentence you've never heard, just because I can finally get the Earth, Wind, and Fire pun in there.
Yeah.
But now it's spoiled, it's ruined, because I predicted it.
Yeah.
Been waiting the entire season for that combination to come up, and it's never come up in any of my games.
Well, that is actually really unlucky. Statistically, that's really bad.
Or I missed it. It's more likely that I missed it.
Maybe. But sometimes it just happens. Cabashard was trying to recall, but there was a raise around the corner. And so far, this is just delaying the game as well, because no one's really falling massively behind in the laning phase. ROCCAT last game, even though it was fairly even until they made that snap decision to go towards that Baron, that's really what turned it. So kind of want to see a game where they don't just kind of lose the game on a call.
You see the cost of that dragon though, and not using that tempo to actually get another push on. The gold lead's actually on the side of ROCCAT here quite significantly. A little bit is in the jungle where Memento caught up with Shook, and then there's obviously the farm on the side of Parang, who was on your screen there. The production really wanted to drive that point home.
Exactly.
It's like, in case you forgot, this is ROCCAT right here.
Game face is on. No reclining right now.
0 decline.
Yeah. It's all about staying upright.
Sometimes you gotta make a point. Just like Nuktuk, the Nuktuk.
The Nuktuk making a point mid lane against Betsy. Half helps him. He's dropping very low, actually. There's the Q. Race is coming in. There's the TP actually in from behind. Memento flanking from the top side. Cabashon called out. Goes down for first blood. Shook stays underneath the tower. And all of ROCCAT are collapsing. Ray's on top of him. Steelback will find the kill. Ray's, he's so low. He survived. The heal out from Steelback.
ROCCAT with a magnificent macro play here, and Raze wins the limbo. He can't go much lower than that one, gets the heal there on the back end, but this is a mistake from Vitality, but it is so satisfying to see hit punished. It was 3 health points on Raze at the end of that play right there, but I just want to stress how nice that punish was from ROCCAT. This is a situation that happens very often where teams get greedy and they try to hold under a turret. Look at your minimap. Jhin is top, Ryze is mid with no TP. ROCCAT read this, they miss all their spells, but because they're playing Braum, they get a free stun anyways. E-flash from Shook misses. This wasn't a counter flash from Raze. He flashed after the particle actually exploded next to him. And then right here, it's like, how low can you go? Well, apparently 3 HP. Get the potion going. Always click your potions, guys. Very important.
One of those pressure situations as well. But ROCCAT with the lead in the early game now. Really good collapse from them in the bottom lane.
And now we got a game.
Yeah.
Because we got a team that was notorious for having poor early, good late game, who had their confidence hit and shook up. And right now, they have a lead in the early game, 2,200 gold. They have late game insurance with the Vladimir. They have a strong Trundle in the side lane too, that is at least equal with his lane opponent. And they can hit that Lucian spike pretty soon. So things are looking up for ROCCAT.
Vitality, though, on the top side, misses the deadly flourish out from Police. Couldn't have really got the pick anyway onto Raze. Early 2 kills and the tower advantage from ROCCAT. They even took the tower off that 9 minutes in.
Parang is gonna want to challenge here, though. Betsy's getting aggroed on. Duck.
Betsy dropping low. Needs to go into Sanguine Pool very quickly. Memento's there for the counter gank. Will get healed up by Police as well. Both of them back away.
Ooh, so Vitality, they win a play on the map despite freezing bottom lane. That is very rare to see here in a gold deficit, because Cabashot, he's parking the bus there. He wants to maximize his farm and deny as much as he can off Parang. He's taking his sweet time pushing out this lane. Steelback was kind of doing similar things on the top lane. Probably should have pushed that out much quicker. Look at this size of this wave. You know, you can tell how slow somebody's pushing out by the size of the wave that he's accompanying. And honestly, ROCCAT need to speed up the game here. Keep making picks. Get this Lucian involved. Put him in the mid lane. Double TPs on the side lanes here. And obviously start using that, but they can ride in that wave. Use that momentum though to crash into the turret. Make it into a battering ram.
Well, they have 4 members around the top side. They may well do that after the Herald. Kasing and Police looking to contest here. Herald's down to half.
Yeah, Steelback's not here yet, so they could technically open up.
Curtain call. Raze is going to bring up the shield, block a couple of shots. Kasing trying to get in range as well, but they're all trapped inside the Herald pin. Steelback's going to come into the fight, and Kasing and Nuktuk are dropping low. Parang comes into the fight as well. Raze is low himself. Shook is also caught inside the pin. So far, it's a 1-for-2 over to ROCCAT. With all the members here, they'll get the Herald as well.
Yeah, Steelback, he came late, but on his best Gandalf impression, you know, on the light of the 5th day, look east, this time west, because Steelback came in swinging double kill, because Cabashard is still freezing that bottom lane and didn't teleport in, so you have to question how that all played out there for Vitality. Yes, they do an aggressive punish there on the Rift Herald, but if you're not going to get your top laner involved, then you need to maybe consider your choices.
We're now witnessing the great escape of Shook as he went all the way through top side into bot side. Unfortunately, there happens to be a vampire around the corner, so...
Hate it.
Oh, he's over the wall, but
Hate it when that happens.
He's
Vampires around the corner.
Yeah. No amount of drinking will solve that problem. That's a kill over to Betsy.
There's still some ROCCAT fans in the crowd. I heard some shrieks.
As
I'm excited.
The dying screams of Gragas gets a cheer from the crowd. ROCCAT, again, advantage in this early game.
So yeah, so ROCCAT, they get a little greedy. They start Herald And technically, I think teleport can be used here. Cabashard's teleport is available, so they could clap. But yeah, the fight goes on slow enough for Steelback to enter, and now this is essentially Vitality opting into a 4v5 contest. Gotta question that, to be honest. I like the punish from ROCCAT. I think they played it well. Raze did a great job again, soaking up the bullets here and almost dying to Rift Hellic. He really likes to support Limbo. He's pretty short, so it's one advantage.
Yeah, naturally already good at the game.
We are also very naturally gifted towards Limbo. We call it walking under a stick.
And that's it. We can get that done. That was another Infernal Dragon over to ROCCAT. The first Infernal Dragon. And just getting these small advantages. Getting a pick, getting a tower, getting a pick, getting Herald, getting Dragon. ROCCAT. 3 of those kills onto Steelback as well. He's already got his Ghostblade completed and building towards a second item. Police only has the makings of his Ghostblade.
He is still the driver of the side lane pressure though, and this is something he does really well in kind of traditional 4-1 comps where the AD carry has to go to the side lane. But ROCCAT, they seem so reluctant to put their TP players on the side lanes and have Lucian go mid lane. Because like look at Raze right now, he's also drawn to the bottom part of the map, whereas usually you can play from the center. If you play a 1-3-1 to its limits, you have a 3-man unit in the middle of the map, especially if Lucian into Rise with Braum help. Could actually do a lot of things here. Right now, Betsy's getting aggro to gun. Really good snare here, follow-up, so Betsy's finding himself outnumbered.
Second shot's going to miss, third shot as well. Nukeduck has to back away. Betsy did a lot of damage, but he's going to be knocked into the team. Cabashard's there to finish him off, and Police will find the kill.
And this is honestly the same thing we're talking about. Look at the side lanes. Raze was accompanying Steelback because he needed vision, he needed help. And Memento was pathing down. Guess what? You know, Vitality, they just punished you in the mid lane. This is wrong lane assignments again by ROCCAT, and a really good read on that from Vitality. Lacking in execution on those bullets, you know, could have hit. Betsy did a phenomenal job dodging, but at one point he was out of options.
And a kill in return for Vitality. So Betsy already got chunked at the start of this trade from Nukeduck. Had to,
but he's too far up as well. I mean, look at what you're doing here, Betsy. Like you see aggro position on your support and jungler, and your bot laner or your top lane, your AD carry order is in the bot lane pushing. Eventually, I'll get the right lane, and then you can't play at enemy turret versus Rise when Aurelia is rolling too. So this is again, they're not playing as a unit, very disjointed. Like they have some individual strong players. Like Betsy did some fantastic side steps there, but every move should be made with a purpose. And that's what's lacking with ROCCAT.
They did have that one play in the bottom lane that was really good, but it seems like they have a script, and now we've reached the end of the script, so ROCCAT have nothing else to read
Page
from.
1, what do we do? Okay, lane swap, great.
Good.
You know, dive the tower. Page 4 is blank.
Now what?
Damn.
End game. And ROCCAT, again, seems to be back in the rut that we generally see them in.
Well, they still have a gold lead. I like putting things negatively. People tweet at me, Crepo. So unprofessional. Whining about ROCCAT the entire game. I'm just helping, you know, just pointing out mistakes.
Exactly. So when they go back and they look at this game,
they'll look at the cast. They can say like, "What the hell is Crepo talking?" Every time I get him in my game, he's feeding.
Yeah.
You know, what does he know?
Footnotes from Crepo. Parang been sitting in the side lane. Pretty much. Well, with these 2 assists as well, picked up the Titanic Hydra, so
has to be careful
1v1.
Because he's going up against the Triforce Aurelia, and with the right combination of spells, Aurelia can still do damage. Obviously, that ulti always works in your favor, but he has to be just slightly careful. Don't get too low, don't overextend.
Yeah, he will find that Aurelia very shortly. Next round is going to be the Cloud Dragon. And Nukeduck, he's fairly overextended in the bottom lane. Raze and Memento are on their way down. Nukeduck's going to run right towards them. Probably not what he wanted. Auto attack lands for the concussive blows. Glacial Fissure does not get the knockup, but will force him to go downward. Nukeduck stunned. Betsy comes in. Tides of Blood. Memento with the kill.
Braum passive is best thing ever, man. You just tag somebody once, and even if they flash and you miss all your abilities, people can still pick up because you're zoning them. That ulti was never meant to hit. It either hits or it's a zoning ultimate. And then Nukeduck jukes backward into the Braum passive. Consecutive hits and he gets hit.
Win-win situation all the time. Top lane as well, also advantage to ROCCAT. Parang was flashing after Cabashard, was winning in that 1v1. So far, despite us literally just saying ROCCAT maybe...
I mean, they made some mistakes. Like, they didn't capitalize on their lead, but they still managed to get a really large lead. Let's not get that wrong here. ROCCAT are definitely in the lead in this game, and Vitality in the back foot. Vitality stuck in some poor matchups too, and now that ROCCAT has identified the right lane assignments, the game is going much smoother for them. Like, with the right lane assignments, the game will offer you more opportunities and you can actually seize them here. That was a really good roam, punishing Nukeduck overextended in the side lane too. And Steelback can easily hold his own in the bottom lane.
Getting out in these lanes. Vitality back to the drawing board. Got Nukeduck on Rise though, so he's scaling up on that run of ages. Top lane, Cabochard has finished Triforce as well though, but he's still against the Trundle. And now sending Police and Kasing into the mid lane here.
Yeah, and honestly, Vitality's looking for picks. They want like a stray member to be passing by a ward, bind into Deadly Flourish, and then a follow-up. Because in a straight 5v5 combat, if it ever comes to that, obviously, they may suffer. Because obviously this map is going to be super fragmented.
Kasing just moving around, trying to find that vision, and hitting a bit of a lull in the action while, as you said, Vitality looking for a potential pick, but ROCCAT all going back to base. And setting up this 1-3-1 as well. Haparang in the top lane, Betsy in the bottom lane.
But lane priority on both lanes. This Vladimir is in the game, suitably far ahead. Rise is still scaling. Betsy has vision advantage too. The 3-man unit from ROCCAT controls a lot more. Shook is, Octobering it up in that brush. He gets out. But you see everybody on Vitality is kind of leaning back, drawing back, waiting, catching waves, receiving the push. ROCCAT's doing the pushing.
Now Betsy, he's down here now as well. Next dragon has spawned, but it's Cloud Dragon, so no one really cares too much about that unless it's literally nothing. Crepo cares about Cloud Dragon, but these teams unfortunately don't. Kasing, the damage out from the culling almost takes him down. It will take him down alone. Steelback dashing into him.
Yeah, ROCCAT hitting their sweet spot right now. The power spike of the Youmuu's Ghostblade with the Black Cleaver, the strongest member in the center of the map, and then they can flow from there. Look at it, Raze, support jungle duo here. We're gonna move in, have to be careful though. Nukeduck has a lot of damage. Wards come in, and these wards right now, they're setting up the Vladimir in the bottom lane because they reveal 2 members that can now push in. There's a contest on enemy Raptors. Vladimir pushes in, guess what? Rise has to catch, Vladimir moves to the mid lane. This pressure is flowing over from one lane into the other, and the limited amount of wave clear is now being punished, and Police has to flash.
Forcing a flash out. Betsy was coming in from the bottom side. Deadly Flourish lands, but no damage on before him. Shook will use the explosive cast to disengage the minions, but the tower's already dead.
Yeah, and now those tools that were used for engage in the last games are being forced to use for disengage, clear, catch up on the side of Vitality. So unrelenting pressure from ROCCAT, and it all flows from the right lane assignment, moving up at the right times, and they get themselves the nice little cherry on the top of that cake. The Elder Drake Amplifier, call it.
Exactly. And we'll get that one in the bank. 20 minutes on the clock, and ROCCAT, from that initial play, the ripple effect has really been massive, but once again, just killing with the culling.
So much damage here on the 2-item Spike Lucian, and then support jungle synergy, we touched on it, immediately moving into the jungle, and the rest of the flow we kind of explained already.
Yeah.
Betsy right now picking up some farm while he waits for that wave in the bottom lane. So blue buff. Steelback can catch waves on his own. He needs members to push out with him, but the Lucian can always catch 1 or 2 waves on his own while the support and jungle do something else. That's why it's so much easier. Like if you have the double TP, you always put the 3-man unit in the center because it gives you way more options to play the game.
I mean, there was concern from me that ROCCAT maybe not able to continuously make plays after the initial script that we were calling it, but ROCCAT, after being ahead, it seems like they just kind of know what to do, and teams have said that before. Once you get the early advantage, the next option is already in front of you and you just need to take it.
Yeah, and then now they're moving Trundle to the bottom lane because they want to start playing around Baron, and Vladimir, just put him in the top lane instead. They can tank it with Elise and Braum, so you can do a 4-man Baron start. And then you can keep the Trundle, the stronger split pusher, in the bottom lane. Vladimir does more in the 4 part of the map. Like if you play around an objective, your 1-3-1 eventually becomes like a 4-man squad at one side and then the split pusher on the other. Vladimir has more added value in that 4-man squad, considering he's an AoE mage.
Better at those fights. Betsy is still in the top lane, waiting for this mini wave to come in though. So Vitality have the members stacked in the mid lane before Cabochard goes into the top. And ROCCAT just moving the 3-man squad.
And honestly, they're playing the script well. It's push in, vision, push in again. So many teams push in, get vision, immediately go to Baron, and then they leave mid open, and then they pray that the enemy team will face check. Instead, they challenge a mid wave, and when Vitality challenged, you see, they're looking for a flank here. Betsy's looking for opportunity. And we're getting a teleport. Big fight coming up.
Oh, Vitality are trapped inside the jungle. Steelback's going to follow with the culling. First kill over to Belize onto Memento. Nukeduck's immediately called out. Parang TPing into the fight. Razor's going to zone away Kasing and Cabochard for another kill. 2-0.
That was a miss. I mean, I'm all for calling supports zoning abilities, but that was a clear miss. Shook's alive. He needs to look for the 50-50. We were looking for a script, for a playbook, a good pattern of plays, and that was exactly it. You know, push in, get vision here. Now Ray's going to defend. Shook's going to drop.
Yeah, Raze and Steelback there to block Shook, take the kill. Parang's low, he dies to Baron. Cabashot tagged him with Transcendent Blade. Betsy's low, so is Memento, and Cabashot looking for the cleanup. He does get exhausted though and already used the Blade Surge. Kasing, not much he can do in this situation. Everyone from ROCCAT still low, but Baron over to Memento.
Yeah, a bit too many people went over the wall here. Raze, you know, taking a bullet for his team right there. They did the right thing. They took out the jungler, and then they switched back to the Baron there. Really good exhaust by Raze onto Cabashot. But again, it is push in mid, going for deep vision, push in mid again, and then you find a pick off here. Left side collapse, Betsy with the Vladimir. Steelback goes over. Pop, pop. Nuke drops here. Zoning Q from Raze, and then the back end of the fight we saw. Just keep your eyes on the exhaust, and a good time repel there as well from Memento. Everybody's looking at Shook. Steelback doesn't have an extra dash to go over, so he has to take a long walk of shame.
And Betsy was low himself, but with that Q, was able to survive and still had the Sanguine Pulse, so Cabashot had to jump out. But yeah, ROCCAT had so many tools left in the bank that it didn't really matter that Cabashot almost came in for the cleanup, and that's a Baron over to ROCCAT.
Yes, it's a Baron, and they identified how to snowball. ROCCAT has everything in their hands to take this game home, and they seem to understand their comp very well as well. And I just really like the setup of that play. It was the right things in the right order. Let's see how they close out. They no longer need to split as much. They've also used their teleport on Parang, so they choose to keep him closer to team because they can start sieging here. There's limited amount of wave clear, and there's quite a large amount of catch here on the side of ROCCAT. They can just group up, go for more turrets.
Exactly what they're doing. Keeping Betsy on the top side, moving the 3 over to the top lane as well. There's the curtain call. Vitality trying to get in range, but really nice pillar.
He's just hitting the minions, actually. Yeah. He's disguising it as poke. But it's actually to denote wave clear.
Goes right through the minions.
Yep. Physical damage too.
Clears them out. And Cabashot clearing the mid wave as well. So have stymied the push in from ROCCAT for about 30 seconds until the next minion wave comes in. Betsy, yeah, he's fine. So it's just going to keep up pressure. It was just delaying the push here.
This tower's going to fall. Like, they just want to make at least a minute on every turret. Ooh, Raze drops though.
Wow, Betsy dropping into the pool. Nuke Dog staying on top of him. Cabashot will finish him off. This is quickly going wrong for ROCCAT. Quick flash from Memento will knock him the right way, but he's slowed down from Shook. Cabashot's going to find him. He's also trapped. 3-0.
I mean, the tower's going to fall if the ranged members hit it, but Raze goes full melee mode without using his ultimate at all. Trying to take some smiles from the crowd. Their favoritism here.
Yeah, ROCCAT just overstepping a little bit there.
Yeah, that was out of nowhere. Surprise, Raze didn't even get his ultimate off. There was no flank threat from Betsy either. Let's watch that again. So he gets close. Like, usually you just want to enable Lucian to hit the turret. Like, Steelback's not there yet. Alright, he's coming in now. Raze is like, yeah, 70% HP. No ultimate really. Oh, Betsy has to reset tower, so he's kind of playing back too. And he lost his blood well too. So yeah, this is like Betsy having to back out, taking those turret shots. Steelback is being zoned by the threat from Shook. And Raze is moving up while his AD carry is being put on the threat here. So this is no alignment in this siege from ROCCAT.
No, Parang was sitting with the ranged carries. Just never go full melee range when you're in that situation.
I mean, usually what you do is you put a pillar down and you just poke for a while until you catch somebody. You wait for cocoons and Braum Qs, and then you follow with Braum ulti.
And ROCCAT, they still have Baron on a couple of members, so they can group up and push still, but Vitality way more confident, able to push out of the base into the mid lane, and it's no longer a situation where they're trapped underneath their towers.
Yeah, but now they can follow the Raze has Flash and Exhaust again, so he can kind of nullify one member, which buys him time to ulti, and they're not fighting against a turret, so the previous fight was kind of inefficient 5v6 plus the tower, you know? And right now, they're fighting on equal footing here. Mento gets the steal.
There's the flash, there's the ult from Raze, but a nice black shield. Betsy will jump right into the middle of the team. The Sanguine Pool will follow up. Cabashot will drop instantly, and Parang is still chasing down Nuke Dog on the bottom side. Memento will fall in return. That was a 2-for-1. Over to ROCCAT, the fight is disengaged.
Yeah, Nuke Dog turned that around very quickly there. Onto Memento, highlighting that Vice still does a ton of damage, regardless of what patch he's played on.
ROCCAT, that will open up the opportunity for them to take down the middle turret. plus that dragon. 3 dragons over to ROCCAT now, 2 Infernal. This is looking better and better for them with the 7k advantage pushing into the mid lane. They have no real minions left, but Nuke Duck's coming in here to try and defend, but gets caught out. He'll flash away, but not survive. Betsy finds him.
Yeah, this Braum passive, these concussive blows are paying off dividends for ROCCAT. Every time Reyes needs to attack somebody and then walk out. He was tanking the tower for the longest time. Here, almost dies to the splash damage. Really good at this support limbo game. Flying from Cabashard, looking for the reset.
Oh,
basically to put up his shield when he
targets. He'll jump onto Betsy, goes down into the pool. Paranga's also caught out. Double kill in from Police. The cleanup from Vitality is real big right now. They find another kill. Paranga's is still kicking though, and Shook and Kassim will have to try and pick up the kill here. He did get the kill and return onto Cabashard, but 3 for 2. And Vitality repel the push.
Alright, that's a good play on the back end there. Still, the base is not breached here, so gold lead is still around 7,000-8,000 here. Another dragon went to ROCCAT. And look at the follow-up engagement. There's no turret in the back. And also, the power of Braum versus Gragas here, you block the ultimate, right? The ultimate can't disperse the entire team because it just lands in front of the shield. Only the Braum kind of gets knocked back there. A little early on the trigger from Shook. Turnaround damage from Nuke Duck was good. The fact that he managed to survive that is even better. Still, ROCCAT commanding the map right now.
And from that fight, they were able to push in the mid lane. As you said, tag, you're it, Nuke Duck. There's nothing you can do from there. Has to flash away and just die.
A lot of children's game here. Limbo, tag.
That's the secret to success for ROCCAT, apparently. Cabashard looking for these juicy resets. But unfortunately, Sanguine Pool. So Parang will just conveniently be there. Cabashard stepped in range for the quick chomp and the kill.
Yeah, he tried to surprise Betsy by actually going aggro on Steelback first, and then hoping he wouldn't pull in time. But wasn't enough right there. Really good punish with the Deadly Flourish though from Police. He's picking a lot of kills in the back end here. 4, 1, and 5. This is 90% of Vitality's kills so far. So very present. Yeah, I did that, man.
Yep, can confirm. But ROCCAT still ahead in terms of gold, but are being slowed down. The important thing you mentioned was they haven't breached the base yet of Vitality. They are able to hold the line. 14 seconds left on Baron, so next fight you have to feel will be around that area.
Yeah, Betsy's putting the plan in motion. Divide and conquer. Pushing in bot lane. Priority now in mid lane. Push out mid, then get vision. And push out again, then go for the bait. Nuke Duck will have to match Betsy's wave right now. This is going to give priority and just like control the ROCCAT. Use whatever buzzword you want. They have
all of
the game.
Yes, they do. Vitality need to find some way into a good fight. They got the punish before on the top side, and another punish in the jungle as ROCCAT went a little too deep. But on equal footing, we've just generally seen ROCCAT just win every single fight, just being ahead in this game.
And they're not greeting to the bait here. They're setting up their side lanes. They're struggling a little bit in vision denial. They don't have 100% guarantee that everything's gone. The mid wave's pushed, which means there's no new wave for ROCCAT to kind of trade for like 30 seconds. So ROCCAT, for Vitality to trade rather. So ROCCAT's just going to start the Baron here. Send the bait.
Nuke Duck was charging up his passive, but unfortunately couldn't get in range of Betsy. Meanwhile, ROCCAT started up the Baron. It's dropping very low. There's no one from Vitality.
It's gone. They're not contesting it. It's too late. They're too scared of the potential bait. When they figure out it's going on, Baron's gone.
Police popped the Ghost Blade, but yeah, wasn't there in time. So ROCCAT pick up the Baron, and we're in the same situation we had 6 minutes ago.
Yeah, and it's because they pushed Vitality in. They forced them to kind of move to the remains of their tier 2 tower in the mid lane, and then they had to kind of creep in with limited vision, and obviously they're scared, you know, maybe they're in the brush right here. Okay, let's give it a couple seconds. Okay, now we gotta get going. I think they're on Baron, maybe they're not. Oh, poof, Baron's gone. Very well played by ROCCAT. Decisive shot calling. Let's see if they can get more use out of this second Baron buff in this game.
Yeah, really good shot calling from the team actually. Way better than we've seen, honestly, in any of their games in the last couple of weeks. Vitality though.
Pretty dire.
Pretty dire. Yeah, you can say that again. Vitality though, what did they actually do wrong in this game? It felt like ROCCAT were just making more proactive moves that were all working out for them.
Oh, Vitality went for a greedy play in the lane swap. Remember, they got Dove 5v3.
Oh, in the bottom lane, yeah.
With no teleport, you don't do that. You just have to mirror. If you down TP in mid lane, and you just mirror lane swap, you trade the map constantly. You aggressively defend, you gotta make sure that you can resist the dive. And ROCCAT executed that dive beautifully.
From there, the ripple effect has really gotten out of control for ROCCAT. 9,000 gold ahead now. They finally take that top turret, and they're so far ahead that Vitality couldn't really even go for that fight. Now they're going to try and hold this base here at these inhibitors, but
They should honestly go for a 1-3-1 again here, though. Baron split push is just so easy to play because every member buffs up the creeps in their respective lanes. All you need to do is dodge the kind of hard engage that Vitality will use as an answer, you know, with max range Deadly Flourish. But like that bottom wave technically could be crashing into enemy inhib too, and then Vitality have to disperse too much. But ROCCAT electing for a bit of a 4-1 equivalent, and that's why they're kind of scared approaching these turrets. Lucian's very short range, so he needs less enemies around him. If Lucian's up in a 3v3, he can actually dodge out of most skill shots. In like a 4v4, it gets difficult.
And ROCCAT will take that and back away, but the Mountain Dragon's live, so they'll take that one away as well for their 4th dragon.
Yeah, and they need to kill this one ASAP because they obviously want to accelerate the spawn of Elder Drake because they likely will still have control of the map in 6 minutes. They may not breach the base, but they can get their gold lead bigger and another poke component.
I mean, if you have control of the map, there's no real need to try and force the issue and just break the base of Vitality. Back away, take the objectives you can, wait it out, wait until Elder Dragon spawns, and you have 4 as a multiplier there already.
Yeah, that's kind of like one end of it. It's like, sure, we don't have to rush. But the longer you wait, you know, if you make one slip up, suddenly the enemy team's back in the game here because an 8,000 gold lead right now is a lot. Well, it'll always be a lot, but progressively, of course, it will mean less and less and less. So we need to see ROCCAT split up their members, 1-3-1 it out. Official's favorite composition.
Likes the 1-1-3 as well. But ROCCAT, yeah, we did say around mid-game that we'll see if they can actually close out, because that has been a problem with ROCCAT. Even getting advantages in the first place and then executing step 2. But they are going 1-3-1, once again, splitting the Baron minions up.
They're doing a good move here. They're going for a pick-off on Nukeduck. Will be defended there, but his team's kind of be rallied off. And right now, Nukeduck's exposed. This is exactly what they're looking for.
There in time. Memento flash over the wall. Nukeduck's already low himself. Will have to flash away. There's a zoning Fissure once again from Raze. And ROCCAT, they do burn the Summoners out from Nukeduck and Kissing, actually.
Yeah, they're waiting on a cross map on the top lane here. So this was a 45 in total, but the Eternal can't drive the minion wave in, so Nukeduck dodges that pick-off. And ROCCAT back to the drawing board.
Constantly making these aggressive plays. That was 2 flashes though from ROCCAT. And they have these 4 dragons. So honestly, it may just be a waiting game for the next couple minutes and just wait for Elder Dragon to spawn. Pick that one up, or at least force Vitality outside of their base so they can fight them.
Yeah. Just so sad to see, like, not maximum use of those Baron buffs. There's always some little step that goes wrong, and it's so easy to make a mistake.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong here, but we are judging, you know, teams are on the highest level here. And it is so natural to look for comfort in numbers and wanting to group up. But you gotta play towards like the utmost like win conditions, you know, of your comp. Divide and conquer, definitely the more suitable approach here in this situation.
Steelback having another good game though. Generally we see Steelback very low deaths and just picking up these kills. We've called him a cleanup ADC before.
He loves that.
Yeah. 606.
The best thing is when pro players complain about their tags that they're given. Wunder would always whine to me about how he soaks up resources all the time. Clean up his Steelback in solo queue will always just say like, yeah guys, no, you guys are very well. I'm just clean up 80 carry. You know, they'll add it with a nice bit of sarcasm. They have there right now. The whole trend is cocky movement.
Cocky movement.
Nice cocky movement, man. You know, if somebody dodges a skill shot aggressively.
Yep. Or just doesn't dodge at all.
Yeah.
Yep.
Cocky movement. Yeah.
Just couldn't hit him.
Enemy team has mad life.
Yeah.
when your AD carry dies to a random Thresh player, unlucky guys. Mad life on enemy teams.
So what could we do? Nothing at all. But ROCCAT, yeah, just staying at range. They're
playing a waiting game.
Waiting game, yeah.
As you said, they're just waiting for the next objective. 3rd time's the charm. Maybe they go for the ultimate bonus, you know, sinking up the Baron, leaving it up for a while, and then moving up to Elder.
Yeah. They'll get that overlap. But I mean, theoretically, they could do that, just keep Vitality in their base.
At this point, though, their Barons are becoming like the equivalent of Mario Kart, where you race against yourself. You know, when you get that little ghost?
Yeah.
You know, and last time you finished the map in 2 minutes, so you're trying to do 150. I think that's it for ROCCAT right now. They have 2 Ghost Barons where they got a tower each, and they breached the base almost. Right now, they're really looking to open up.
Optimizing those laps. Yeah.
One more lap.
Just one more ROCCAT. Will this be the final lap? We don't know. We're honestly not sure.
Will they fall off the course and have the little guy with the cloud, you know, Back up again. That's their coach. That's Grabs.
Yeah, that's what it's felt a couple of times, getting caught out. That was them falling off the track, and now they're back on the middle lane track.
Or does it seem like they're falling off? Because if you've watched the Starry Road or whatever it's called, speed runs, you actually jump off one side of the track to land on the other. You know, so that's the ultimate mind game. When you go for the perceived throw, it's like, oh, they're throwing. Haha, no, you just activated my trap card. I'm actually speed running you.
I'll be honest, Crefo, this doesn't look like a speed run to me.
No.
ROCCAT.
This is a no glitch speed run.
Yeah.
They take a lot longer.
Any percent speed run from ROCCAT. Don't need all of those objectives from Vitality.
Yeah, nobody told ROCCAT this is any percent, not 100%. Anyway, so setting up the Baron here. Betsy has his eyes on a couple of wards for teleport. Backhand, that's the teleport on your minimap. He's in the mid lane, and right now we're looking at a flank.
He's coming in from the bottom side. Cabochard gets caught out by the Cocoon. They're collapsing on top of him. No help from the team. Kasing even couldn't get in range for the Black Shield. And now ROCCAT back off again towards the Baron. And just a game of drawing Vitality out. Now onto the Baron itself. Shook over the wall. I feel like we've seen this one before. There's the curtain call, looking to poke them down. Betsy, he's just so tanky. Nukdog also caught out. Shook tries to save him. Still back on the chase. So is Memento. Cross map looking for the snare. We'll find it from Kasing and Police. Nukdog is so low. They can't really fight, but a kill onto Betsy out from Police. Will it be enough? Shook is trying to get away here. Razor's following after, but they've tagged him with the concussive blows and the stun as well. Shook will drop. No way he can get out. 3-1 trade for ROCCAT.
So many hops, skips, dashes, and flashes. But at the end of all of it, Vitality lose 3, ROCCAT lose 1, and they will get another objective.
They will.
In their not-so-speedy speed race towards their first victory in quite a while.
It's all about that 100%, man. Onto this Baron. Here comes Police. Oh, and a teleport from Cabochard. Still going to try and contest. Curtain pull once again. Couple low health members. Memento sidestep onto Parang now. He's not really going to care too much. Oh, he stole it! Fourth shot! One shot onto the Baron. The steal for Police. And Vitality looking for the turnaround. Parang's trapped in the pit. He doesn't have flash. He's going to go down to Guardian Angel for another kill for Vitality.
Ah, Pulse, what's happening? Look at Shook's face. It's like, yeah, baby, that just happened. Oh, yeah. We have a game on our hands all of a sudden. 8,000 gold deficit, but as we talked about, relatively means less and less and less. And Vitality have picked up a Baron, and they're going to take up another tower here to just kind of decrease that gold lead.
Oh, man. A middle lane tower just disintegrating as well. And with the next dragon being Elder.
Ooh, that was not frame perfect from ROCCAT.
No, it was not.
Can we get a reset?
Yeah. Remake, boys. Vitality. Oh, the Elder Dragon's even live. They'll take this one away. And, man, the game is fighting back. ROCCAT in a horrible position now, losing Baron and the Elder Dragon. Yeah. Rest in peace. And it looks so good as well. They got the
they got the pick on Cabochard, but then they should just turn back to Baron. With this comp, you can force people to run into you, and they miss the engage here. The Black Shield is so crucial. Look at it. Nukdog gets slowed. They look for the follow-up, but the Black Shield is up long enough to block concussive blows proc, so he doesn't get stunned. And then his flash, dash, miss body slam. Another dash here from Lucian, flash Q from Raze. Shook's gonna body slam out. They could turn around right here, run to the Baron here, but they're buying enough time, so the guy that went down at the start of all of this, Cabochard, comes in with the teleport, and then the 4th bullet here from Police means curtains for ROCCAT.
Goodbye, tower. And props as well to Police. He was kiting around the outside of that fight real well. Just managed to snipe down Betsy, and no one even saw him.
ROCCAT lost the boss fight here. The pillar cancel on the Jin ultimate. Beautiful.
Betsy dropping low. Sidestep the deadly flourish, but Vitality going to take the opportunity to take down the middle tower. 1,000 crit onto the tower. Police is massive right now. This is late game Jin, who is gradually been picking up kills. 7, 1, and 6.
4 items here. He's involved in 13 out of 14 kills. Not going to give you a percentage there, but it's a lot of it.
Yeah. Final form. Police looking. Look at this massive minion wave in the top. Is that triple minions as well? Triple cannon? It is. Triple cannon onto the top side. The tower goes down. ROCCAT don't even respond in time. Betsy getting caught out. They'll have to run away. And Raze knocked off to the side. He's going to get picked off. Down he goes.
Drops.
Big crit out from Police once again on to the inhibitor. And just like that, ROCCAT, oh, this is going so badly for them. Betsy needs to get away. He cannot die. Curtain call comes up. Memento flashing away. Will sidestep. Betsy with the sidestep as well. One big crit lands onto Steelback, but it doesn't matter. Vitality onto the Nexus turret, and this is actually just going to be game here. ROCCAT trying to defend. Parang is the one-man army. The rest of the team will back away.
Betsy's going in.
Betsy, big tides of blood onto 4 players. Can he be the hero that they need, that they deserve? No, he cannot. Steelback is the only one alive, and Vitality, huge turnaround, and ROCCAT blasting off again.
And this means so much for Vitality here. They came into this match with just 12 points, being far out of the contention for playoffs, but they put themselves on 15 points, so close to Schalke and Unicorns, and suddenly the dream is alive.
Man, a 2-0. You can see how happy Vitality are. Winning a game like that, absolutely absurd.
Yeah, that was just the fact that he stole that with the 4th gym bullet. That has to be so demoralizing for this ROCCAT lineup.
Man, so close to a win. And it was just falling at the final hurdle. Yeah, ROCCAT, we doubted their ability to close.
Rightfully, it seems.
Yeah, trying to take Baron after Baron, but really...
Sometimes you just don't want to be
steal.
right. Like, you really hope, like, they just show you that they close out perfectly.
Yeah.
And they had so many parts right. So much of the setup was good from ROCCAT, but then they fumble it on the final plays, and what a punish here from Vitality. I did not see that coming whatsoever.
No, I mean, it was really just on that Baron steal from Police, and then the ensuing fight right into Elder Dragon, and then such a big advantage from there for Vitality. They're still late game. They're still very well built, and
They were the 150. They were the 150cc category in Mario Kart.
yeah.
Vitality once they got that Baron, as opposed to the 50cc for ROCCAT. Ooh, that was a rough one, Pulse.
Yeah, I was not expecting a win there in that last game from Vitality, but still, props for pulling it out. I mean, right down to the wire, though. I mean, like, that wasn't a decisive victory by any means, but I mean, there were good points from ROCCAT in that game. Like, the dive bottom lane was good on the punish from the mistake from Vitality, keeping up the pressure throughout the game as well.
There were only a couple of instances, and most of them were kind of non-fight related. Most of ROCCAT's fumbles were kind of lane assignments. That's bigger picture, so it's even more crushing because every member feels like, given where they were on the map, they were doing the most of what they could. They were not really making big mistakes themselves, and suddenly, like, it just doesn't click. You know, it all starts falling apart. That's why macro is so important. You can be the best individual player. If you're not put in the position where you can succeed, your potential is limited. You know, and that's what you don't want.
I guess the question is, like, where do ROCCAT go from here? Because even when they do have the advantage and they follow the scripts and everything goes so well, it still doesn't work out for them. I mean,
I don't know.
Back to the drawing board.
But I know where we're going.
Where are we going, Crappo?
To an interview.
For mid-late game, but this time.
Welcome, guys. Of course, we were just in the middle of a conversation about exactly what happened that game. It was absolutely insane. I guess just tell the people, man. What went down in that game? What happened?
Just like to say, police 1v9. Like, holy. No, I can't say that. But this guy just like won us the game alone. I don't understand. But yeah, we played really, really bad in the early game. Like, we just gave them a really small advantage during the early in our lane swap, and then after we got really behind because we can't farm anywhere and kind of got choked. But in the end, thank God, we just outscaled slowly and slowly came back, and yeah, gradually we won.
Gradually, and then also a Baron steal, kind of helping out overall. Looking in on your guys' picks and bans this week, you picked up Morgana in 2 games. I just wanted your thoughts on Morgana, what you think she brings to the table, and kind of where she stands compared to other supports.
Personally, Morgana is more of a comfort pick for me. Like, I feel like she has pretty good matchups against the current supports, like Braum. I even think she's good against Bard too and all these stuff. But the thing is, it's pretty good if your AD carry is decent as well, like Jhin, you know? Like, Jhin Morgana is a good combo because that's really good CC together. But I wouldn't pick Morgana otherwise, I think.
Overall, okay. Looking in on your matches tomorrow, you're picking new things, you're having these close games. How do you feel about going up against the Unicorns of Love? Are you confident about that matchup?
I'm fairly confident against you. Well, I think we went 1-1 or 2-0 last time against them. So, but they do look like they're playing pretty well now. Like, they're winning quite a lot of matches, so it won't be like a really easy game. Like, I think we'll have to be really prepared against them.
All right, well, I'm excited to see exactly what you guys are going to be able to bring out tomorrow. Thank you so much for talking to me. Congrats again on that crazy win. We're going to send things over to the analyst desk to break down exactly what happened there.
Thank you so much. Well, I was preparing for some mad trash talk here and there, and then Sheepy with the answer, but actually I feel like that's also how you guys are approaching that game tomorrow. Not overconfident, but both you seem to be on form or in form at this point in the split.
Yep, I think so too. I respect them, and we will see how tomorrow the game goes. So yeah, looking forward to that one.
Yeah, all of us are. It's going to be a good matchup. Let's talk about this one, though. Oh, heartbreaking.
Whoop,
From
whoop,
the side
it's
of...
the sound of the police.
We had the perfect setup with something that's coming later, but you just want
I stole it? No.
Okay. No.
Wait, did you and Sheepy prepare something?
No. In any case, let's take a look at the beginning of that game, because we asked the question, what can be good for a ROCCAT? What can they do? Who should you bank on? And Steelback said, you know what, we're going to make something happen this game. And the first time's here at Rift Herald, where they proactively try and take an objective. And then Steelback says, I'm going to help you guys.
Yeah, like they were already a little bit ahead. And here, this is also such a nice play by Steelback. When they're in the 1-3, just solo killing the Morgana there, that's so important. And getting the mid lane turret out of it as well. And also the TP flanks, like, I dislike still the TP of Vladimir. Like,
I agree.
He didn't TP here. But, you know, they are ahead and they're making this team fights happen, and they are just so really ahead. So, you know, this is really nice to see.
Second game in a row, though. Second game in a row where Vitality are walking into a contest an early objective, the fight before the TP, where they actually don't have to, and end up like getting caught with their pants down almost, and then they end up losing quite a bit in the early game. The last game was where ROCCAT won the fight and could take the Baron, but then obviously didn't get the Baron specifically. But they're like these small fights that ROCCAT win. This game, obviously, they managed to actually really snowball down the control.
Yeah, they snowballed.
And it was supposed to be a game over, and Sheepy was cheering. He's like, hey, they're going to tie, which means Unicorn's still like pretty far above them in the standings. And then Vitality comes back.
Yeah. I wasn't cheering, okay? I'm a fan
He was dancing around like, hey!
I'm a fan of good League of Legends. Yeah, but ROCCAT deservedly getting ahead in the first game. Just like 5-man tower dive on 3 people. That was like easy execution, just getting the kills, 3k ahead, choking out the enemy.
Yeah, but you say that now, but then from what we've seen from ROCCAT the last couple of weeks, and you mentioned it as well, like, hey, they have to start back at the basics. They did multiple things correct in this matchup. Up until they didn't is to be debated, or was it a little bit of luck involved?
A lot of their setups were really positive. Their vision control was good. The tower dive very early on was just executed well. And when they made the Baron play, they had the numbers advantage. They had the control over it. The setup for it wasn't necessarily wrong. It just came down to that end game execution.
So let's take a look at that Baron and what exactly did go wrong, because you expect a number of things to go wrong, right? Enemy smites, but, you know, not this.
I mean, if you just notice, they've got the 4-for-3 numbers advantage. Cabo isn't going to be a big stealing threat. But a 1.4k crit onto a Baron from a Jinol. Who's going to expect that to come in from the flank?
Yeah, it's more than smite. You couldn't even smite that, so...
There's just no way to predict that, and it's just one of those things that ROCCAT have to sort of go away. Oh, so there's another person that can steal Baron from us, and they just didn't factor that in. Unfortunately, they lost it.
No, and a 10k Baron power play, which is the biggest this split for the side of Vitality.
Wow.
Yeah.
They didn't wait 1 second. They just went over and finished, I guess.
Yeah, and this is like the worst feeling ever for ROCCAT, because the most important thing when you're down in the relegation zone is that the teams around you, those are the teams you want to beat or at least tie. Like losing 0-2 to Vitality now makes it almost impossible for this ROCCAT team to actually make it out of promotion tournament. So even if they might have some positive things coming in, it's all honestly now built towards beating 1 or 2 challenger teams in a few weeks from now, and then re-qualifying for the LCS.
Hey, or still.
But they should actually look at the positive
Yeah,
here. Like,
sure.
there were a good macro game going on with the bot lane dive, then how they controlled the mid side, looking for TP flanks, something that we see of other teams as well, like Fnatic, G2 especially good at the TP flanks, and forcing the team fights when they're ahead. So ROCCAT had like really a lot of ups there. And if they really capitalize on them, that's like kind of where the coach needs to go in as well. Then they can actually become way better from this game.
Yeah, as we see Vitality there. Is that how you would think if you were a coach? Because you're implying, hey, they should already think about what they're going to do in the promotion tournament.
Well, I mean, the problem for ROCCAT is like they're running out of time. So they should obviously not think about the promotion tournament right now. They should just think about improving as much as possible. Like take these positives every single time and look at the negatives and try and fix it. But it's something that hopefully for them over the next 2 weeks, they are not like completely down in confidence and they can actually just improve. So because when they walk into promotion tournament, they're going to play teams like Misfits. And you can't make big mistake against them either, because then they can also punish you. And that's the main thing, is requalifying for the LCS.
Yeah, we'll see what happens for ROCCAT, the player of the game, though. And this is where VIT Police is the player of the game.
Damn it, VIT.
Come on.
Whoop, whoop.
It's the sound of the police. You gotta do it. Yeah, okay, anyway. The sound of the beat, the sound of the police. A player that catches a lot of flack regularly on Vitality. I think that's fair to say. As AD carry?
I would say less now than in the start of the split.
So what has he improved on, also from Coach Sheepy's view?
Well, he's really good at hitting those turn ultimate.
I do think
That helps.
the meta suits him right now. We've seen a lot of teams sort of rise in power. Giants is another one in particular. We had a lot of criticism towards Sunstar's play, and then with the shift more towards utility in the bottom, carry in the top.
I think Veritas too.
Yeah, Veritas as well. This has resulted in a lot of AD carries being able to grow a lot more, and it's allowed them to have a bigger impact on their team.
And I think he fits really well into this kind of team play that Vitality has right now, where they have like the starting CC, whoever has this, and he is really good at following up on those, always hitting the W from Jin and making those plays happen. So, yeah.
Yep, good on him, and player of the game for Police. And over in the EULCS studio, Schalke fired back in game 2. Origin, of course, took that 1-0, and now they are all tied up in true Origin fashion.
Yeah, of course. I feel like this game kind of went the way the last game was supposed to go for Schalke as well. It's a fine start for Origin, executing a nice little play on Spraddle in the bottom lane, but the positives kind of ran out from here on and out, and we were only like 5 minutes in.
So you tell us.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, from here on and out, Schalke was basically in full control and won up basically every single team fight. Some good engages here. I think Toaster should have flashed the pillar. Trundle was once again impactful from Spraddle.
Lucian
and this leads
for
into
Ralph winning game
more
there,
Lucian.
Vegas.
Yeah, more Lucian. But leads into a Baron. And instead of Schalke now throwing the game like they did in the last one, they're actually able to finish the game. So I think this should have been a 2-0 Schalke and not a 1-1. Origin can technically be happy with this, but they still have so many issues. Like, ROCCAT actually looked better today than Origin did.
Wow.
In the games. Like, Origin had so little things going for them.
So even with the introduction of Toaster, you didn't feel that their overall play, because one of the big criticisms for them was Peke getting caught out, Peke not being
Didn't Toaster just get caught out as well here at the end?
That's true story.
I think
Toaster, game 1.
Toaster eventually would be better for them than having Peke as an AD carry, who obviously is not an AD carry. But I think right now it's a bit like with ROCCAT, they're running out of time, like when it comes to trying to make it into playoffs.
Well, we'll see what happens. We have to take a quick break and say goodbye to Sheepy as well for now. So thank you very much for joining us, for your expert analysis. But when we come back, the minds behind Vitality and ROCCAT will be joining us here at the Analyst Desk for our final match of the day between Fnatic and H2K. As we go to break, Reckless explains the changes that come with having a coach on the team.
If I compare the stuff that we were doing back then to what we're doing now, it's just like 2 very different worlds. Like back then, we didn't really focus on how we played together. You know, it was so much about the individual, what you could do from your perspective, and then many times you would actually clash due to it because you didn't. I mean, everyone sees the game differently because they're playing different roles, and it kind of just ends up with people having different opinions about different situations. But I think that's where the coach comes in, and then after that he comes with his people, the analysts and whatnot, and kind of give you the tools to get through this stage that you wouldn't be able to otherwise. And I think that's really important because nowadays it feels like just everyone's much better.